Alright, also look, welcome back to the channel, and guess what? It's fight week, and UFC 309 is going down this weekend live in the world's most famous arena, Maddison Square Garden, with the main event featuring not one, but two GOATs, the greatest heavyweight to ever touch foot in an octagon, Stipe Miocic, taking on arguably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, Johnny Bones Jones, or as I like to call him, Mr. Johnny Turnbull. And in today's video, we're going to be going over my main card breakdown, analysis, as well as predictions on UFC 309's main card. So without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 1,500 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, for the main event's curtain jerker, we've got Mauricio Murphy versus James Lantop. And look, y'all, these fighting nerd motherfuckers seem to be something else, I'll tell y'all that much. And it kind of just seems like Rufy might be the one with the most talent. And if I'm being 100% honest with y'all, I think it's clear that this matchup could be one-sided. I mean, Mauricio Murphy's talent is evident. Look at his performance during the Dana White Contender Series, where he showed sharp skills with a lot of potential. In contrast, I think Lantop is pretty tough. It's just that he kind of tends to rely a lot heavily on his durability and resilience rather than his technique and skill, which I think can be super dangerous, and it just ain't the approach you want to take against somebody with Rufy's abilities, personally. And while I do see Lantop doing his best in order to hang in there and, do everything in his power to stay, toe-to-toe with Rufy, it won't likely be enough in order to overcome Rufy's diverse skill set. That's why I've got Mauricio Rufy knocking out James Lantop in the second round. Next up on the card, we've got a ranked women's flyweight bout between Viviane Araujo versus Karine Silva. And to make this short and sweet, I've got Karine Silva with the unanimous decision win. Let's move on. Moving up on the card, we've got a middleweight showdown between Bo, the Average Joe, Nickel versus Paul Craig. And despite the questions around Bo Nickel's recent UFC 300 performance against Cody Brundage, I'm still putting my money on him for this fight. I mean, I see this being another early stoppage. I mean, guys, Paul Craig is known for trying to drag fights to the ground because that's kind of where he thrives. That's his domain. But Bo Nickel's wrestling dominance as well as his control will most likely neutralize all of that. Paul Craig is going to 100% expect the takedowns from Bo. And knowing how Bo fights right now, he's most likely going to use that takedown threat and use that anticipation to his advantage in order to have Paul Craig open himself up on the feet in order to demonstrate some of that KO ability. And yes, I said KO ability because, yeah, I know that Bo Nickel's striking is still a work in progress, but when his opponents are fixated on defending the takedowns from a 3-time NCAA collegiate All-American wrestler, they leave themselves wide open. And unfortunately for Paul Craig, his striking defense isn't good enough to handle all of that. So I've got Bo, the Average Joe, by second round KO against Paul Craig. All right, y'all, for the people's main event, the co-main event of the evening, we've got the rematch between Charles Du Bronx Oliveira versus Iron Michael Chandler. And look, y'all, this fight has got me tossing and motherfucking turning every time I go to sleep at night. And, it really breaks my heart because I don't want either to lose. And contrary to popular belief, I think that this fight is a lot closer than a bunch of people are giving it credit for. And I'm going with Iron Michael Chandler, baby. And look, I know what happened in their first bout. Charles inevitably finished Chandler and obtained the lightweight strap, but we can't forget what happened in round 1. And I think that a lot of people kind of count Michael Chandler out and fail to remember that he 10-8'd Charles Oliveira and nearly knocked Charles out a couple times in that first round. And then obviously round 2 came along and, he made the incorrect reads and then got chin checked. I don't think by any sort of the imagination Michael Chandler gassed out at the beginning of the second round against Charles Oliveira. He had his hands by his waist and started swinging for the fences, and Charles do Bronx chin-checked him badly, later putting him out. But let's face it, the only thing that was holding Michael Chandler from becoming world champion that day wasn't his gas tank. It was his disgustingly negative fight IQ, and if he didn't fight like such an absolute drunken father coming off of a bender, he would be one of the best guys in the world right now. And though I am a little reluctant to admit it, I do genuinely think that this might be the fight where we see the growth as well as the improvement from Michael Chandler. And I know I'm usually the one to advocate toward never picking fighters coming off of humongous layoffs, but Michael Chandler isn't coming off of a life-threatening injury, and the possibility of him improving leaps and bounds during the years that he hasn't been fighting isn't entirely out of the question. And look, we've got to remember that Michael Chandler has been through 2 whole training camps during the times that he was preparing for the Notorious. So it ain't like he's been out of shape or wasn't doing anything MMA related for those whole 2 years. And if there's anyone who's just the pure definition of highly explosive, balls to the wall athlete in the UFC, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Iron Michael Chandler. And now mixing the mystical round 1 ability with a bit of fight IQ, patience, as well as a sliver of better shot placements, then we've got a world champion on our hands. And look, don't get me wrong, I am a humongous Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx fan, and I pray, I truly pray that I'm wrong about this take, but I don't know. I think Chandler has everything to prove in this fight. Not saying that Charles do Bronx doesn't have anything to prove. I just think that this will kind of be a battle of convictions. And I just think that with the 2-year layoff on top of not being able to provide for his family for 2.5 years because Conor McGregor snubbed you of your long-awaited Red Ponte night, Michael Chandler's coming into this fight not ready to kill, but ready to win. And I think that Charles just doesn't have that same level of hunger anymore. That's why I've got Michael Chandler by 2nd round finish against Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And hey, Iron Michael, it's good to have you back in the octagon. I'll see you at the top. And last but certainly not least, we've got the long-awaited return of the disputed greatest mixed martial artist of all time, Johnny Trinidad Jones, taking on the 42-year-old firefighter who hasn't stepped foot in an octagon for almost 4 years, when he was last seen getting absolutely flatline stiffened and folded into a lawn chair by Francis Ngannou, Stipe Miocic. And if I'm being 100% completely honest with y'all right now, this is going to be a very tough fight to call right now, and it's gonna be one hell of a title defense for Mr. Johnny Trinidad. Alright, let me stop all the bullshit. I've got Johnny Trinidad beating Stipe Miocic by 2nd round finish. Look, y'all, Stipe Miocic is a bona fide legend, no doubt, but in the meantime, he's been focusing on saving innocent lives from burning buildings as a fireman, and I just think he's gonna look extremely slow and extremely weak in there against Johnny Bones, and I think Johnny Bones is gonna go out there and have no trouble finding takedowns, just like he did against the young, healthy, in his prime heavyweight specimen in Cyril Gane. And once he's on the ground, he'll prob throw his most favorite move in his arsenal, that 12-6 motherfucking elbow to the motherfucking dome piece of Stipe Miocic. Why? Because he can do that now. But hey, I'm rooting for you, Stipe. I just don't see how you can realistically get this done by any means, really. That's why I've got Johnny Trinidad Jones by 2nd round finish against Stipe Fireman Miocic. And hey, Johnny Trinidad, once you've done dispatching of Stipe Miocic, can you quit ducking the rightful #1 contender and please fight the interim champion, Tommy Aspinall? And he's gonna be in New York as well, so I would love to see how a face-off between y'all in the octagon finally plays out. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of my UFC 309 breakdown, Johnny Trinidad Jones versus Stipe Fireman Miocic. Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.